Hi, we're working on problem P-39B on page 109, 110 of your text. I'm using this problem, the B version of the problem, to illustrate the Excel problem that I'm going to be asking you to prepare for your first Excel assignment. So you won't be doing this exact same problem. You'll be doing an algorithmic version of it, and you can find instructions for that in your announcement for the week. But I wanted to go over this in detail with you so that you know what to do in this problem. And for those of you who've never used Excel before, to illustrate some of the features of Excel. So the first thing you're going to do is this is known as a cell address. I am at the intersection of column D and line 20. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to show you a function, probably one of the most helpful functions that you'll see in Excel. It's the sum function. So when you're using Excel and you want to tell it to start doing something mathematical, you have to precede everything with an equal sign. So the equal sign says, I'm about to do something mathematical. So here I've got equal sign, and then I'm going to type the word sum, and then I'm going to open the parentheses. Once I open the parentheses, I can then tell Excel how many of those, what I want it to add up. And what I want it to add up is this column, all the way up through the number cash. And then I'm going to close the parentheses and hit enter, and it's going to add all those numbers up. Now I can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, use my equals sum function, or I can just copy, and I do that with a Control-C, and paste with a Control-V, and I've pasted the formula in 2 columns over. Pretty nifty, huh? Okay, that's the first thing you want to do. So here, this trial balance has a bunch of errors in it, and we're going to clean it up. We're going to fix the errors, but we're going to do it. We're not going to do it on a piece of paper and then type the numbers in. We're going to actually do all the calculations in the cells that are affected. So the first error is cash is understated by $1,800. So you can see I'm right there at cash, which is D7. And I'm going to put my cursor right before the 8 and hit an equal sign, because I then want to, if cash is understated by $1,800, that means I need to add $1,800 to my cash balance. And I just do that after I put in the equal sign. After I can do that by just adding $1,800 to my $8,400. And if you see, you hit enter, that value has changed, as has the total of this column. Okay, and you know that you're going to be right when both columns equal $122,400. That's your check figure in that problem. Okay, the next error, it says a $3,900 debit to accounts receivable was posted as a credit. And what I've done here is I have put together a couple of accounts receivable. One with the error as it's posted, and one as if the person entering the information for Learn for Life Childcare had done it correctly, what it's supposed to look like. So here's the error. We started with a balance of $12,000. They erroneously recorded a credit of $3,900, and then we're left with a balance of $8,100. What should have happened, right, was we started with a balance of 12. We should have added the $3,900 debit to accounts receivable and ended up with $15,900 in that account. So I illustrate that so that I can show you that if, as is in this case, a debit was erroneously posted as a credit, it's not enough to add it back once. That would just get us back to the $12,000, our beginning balance. We have to add it back twice in order to get it to the right figure. Okay, I'll leave that there so that you can look at it later on at your leisure if you want to go back to that. Okay, let's go on to C. A $1,200 purchase of office supplies on account was neither journalized nor posted. So that means I have to add it not only to office supplies, right? But I also, I had an error in there, right? I had a little minus sign first. I not only have to add it into office supplies, but since it was on account, that means I also have to increase accounts payable for $1,200 as well. Okay. On D, it says equipment was incorrectly transferred from the ledger as $89,300. It should have been transferred at $81,500. This one, I'm just going to let you type in the right amount. So $81,500 can just come right on in. E says salary expense is overstated by $500. So that means I want to subtract $500 from my salary expense. F is a $600 cash payment for advertising expense was neither journalized nor posted. So it's not even on this trial balance. So I'm going to add it here, advertising expense, you can just type it in, for $600. And then it was a cash payment. So that's going to come out of cash as well. Okay. G, a $100 owner's withdrawal of cash was incorrectly journalized as $1,000. So that means that I need to decrease owner's withdrawal by $900. They had it erroneously recorded as $1,000. It should only have been $100. And that means I need to add in $900 in cash. Okay, both sides of that transaction needed to be adjusted. Service revenue was understated by $4,200, so that means I need to add $4,200 there. And then it says a 12-month insurance policy was posted as a $1,300 credit to prepaid insurance. Cash was posted correctly. So that means it's only going to affect the prepaid insurance side of the transaction. Now remember, that's a credit that should have been a debit. So that's going to work like our accounts receivable did, which means that we are going to have to add back $1,300 not once, but twice, and I almost typed it correctly, about the fourth time was the charm on that one, right? We have to add that back in twice in order to get it to its corrected balance. And now we know we have completed the problem correctly when our debits match our credits. So that's our little demonstration of P-39B. Let me know if you have any questions.